Hello, this is Martin from seekedge, the channel for learning about trading and investing. We are getting into the daily technical analysis show where we look at the markets tomorrow and we will analyze and see what happened in the previous day's market and how we can plan for the next day. So we're looking at analyzing the market for July 23rd, Friday 2021. So as we do every day, we would be looking at all of these parameters on the left side on the charts, and then we'll look at the data that is available on all the parameters on the right side, and then we'll wrap up with the conclusion and an actionable if possible. Right, so that's exactly what we do every day. So let's get into the charts and see what exactly happened in the market. This is the Nifty 50 index charts that you see there, and you can see that there is something known as a pro gap. It's a professional gap. Pro gap is very bullish, right? So this ideally should be in the at the bottoms. It's very effective, right? It's kind of a reversal, and sideways also it can happen, right? So this has happened the sideways. So it's a pro gap with a wide range green bullish candle formation is what has happened in Nifty, and the Bank Nifty we are not seeing anything great. We're just seeing kind of a spinning top, a small body, a red bearish candle. So what exactly happened today? If you go to the lower time frame, we can see that it was a gap up and then a trending up move, and it gave a little bit of that at 2 o'clock, and then again another up move to close the expiry day in near to 200 points of up move. That's what happened in Nifty. In Bank Nifty, similarly, it was a good gap up, and then it could not sustain the levels that it gapped up, and then slowly started trending, moving downwards. And the end of the day, it slightly, so it was more or less were, so no real gains were there in that. So if you look at the percentage of move that happened, if you look at the price range from the previous day, so the gap up was around, right? So it's a good gap up that comes to around near to 600 points, and so the Bank Nifty morning gapped up and made a high of that much, and then what happened later to that was a fall of nearly 400 points. It gapped up to 600 near to 600 points, and then gave up 400 of that, majority of that, right? And Nifty had done really well. So if you look at the percentage terms on the moves, it did a very good move, right? A very good move. So it didn't give up, hardly, only a small amount of that was given up in between. There was a dip, and then it did really well. So that's where we are. So let's, right? So that gives a picture. Now let's, what do you see? The price action is symbology bands is still in consolidation. So there is no doubt about that, right? Both Nifty and Bank Nifty has been consolidation since several days, right? And where exactly has it halted Nifty here? It's at 8, 20, 30 levels. That is exactly the place where it halted multiple times. If you just look at the levels, and if you draw a line, it's already there. You can see that where it got resistance. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 places. It exactly at the 820, 850, that in between that 800 and 850, that range, it is stopped. So it all depends on whether it will be able to climb right above this today's closed candle tomorrow on the Nifty or not, because today is an expiry. A lot of expiry related price action may happen, likely to happen, but the real action will come tomorrow. Bank Nifty could not sustain the move. It is tried to bounce from the from the support zone, but couldn't couldn't do much. There was it could not close above the previous days close. So which is bearish, right? So support and resistances remain the same. We have Bank Nifty has got a lot of it has fallen off. Since it has fallen off the channel, it has got resistances up there at 15, at 35, 600, and also with 35, 35,000 is already given up, right? So close below that. So whether it will be able to maintain that level is the question. So nothing has happened. The support and the resistance levels as we have marked, it's all the same. Nifty also, it's all the same. It is exactly halted at the support zone. Now, everything depends on how it's going to, react on a non-expiry day tomorrow. So the channel has been slightly from which it fell off. Nifty can be slightly shifted down here. Still, we have two touch points here. If you look at from the April, trend line channel, right? So Bank Nifty, we can't, we just cannot do that because it has not shown any significant movement there. Now, Bollinger Bands fits in support resistance we have seen. Now let's look at the momentum. Momentum has definitely just caught up. It has not gone beyond the. It is still in the sideways. Basically, it's for Nifty. Bank Nifty, it has taken a support. You can see that the momentum has taken a support at the 40 levels and then bounced back. But it's not enough. It's in the sideways zone still. Trend, if you see for the Bank Nifty, the trend continues to be bearish, although it has reduced. Bearishness come down a little bit because of today's upmost light in the morning. Here also, Nifty also, the bearishness is slightly reduced, but still in the bearish zone. So everything remains in the trend remains in the bearish zone itself, and the momentum remains in the sideways zone itself for both the indices, right? So that's about the chart study where you have seen all the price action. Now let's get into the open interest and see what happened. This is the futures open interest, and it is showing that it was short covering on the Nifty, and it was short covering again on the Bank Nifty also. So what is the open interest of options that are showing? So today is an expiry. So so if you look at the next expiry, which is the July month expiry, we can see that the highest support is written at 15,000 and the highest resistance is at 16,000. So that's about 1,000 point range, right? And after supports can also be seen as 15,500 obviously, and resistance always seen as 15,800. So the resistances remain between 15,800 and 16,000, and the supports are there at 15,500 and 15,000, right? Pretty much how the chart support and resistance is also matching exactly, what the open interest is also showing. But since this is a new expiry that's starting today, this data can be completely taken for a trading purpose. So PCR ratio for the next expiry is showing slight bullishness still, right? On the Nifty, and the Bank Nifty, it is bearish. You can see that it is only 0.58, right? So put call ratio is not, it's open interest put call ratio is showing bearishness in the Bank Nifty, just like how it is showing the charts. Now volatility, you had a major down that happened today. So if you look at the shorter time frames, you can see that the volatility dipped further and it has come down to historic low level and closed at 11.7. Hardly few times in the last 15 years in the trading charts itself the VIX has fallen down this much, right? So extremely low volatility once again. It had attempted two times earlier in the July month itself to spike up to 14 levels, 13.5, 14 levels from the bottom of 11, but both times it failed. Day before yesterday also it spiked up, and then again today it has come down to 11.7, right? VIX is again going down, right? So now let's look at what happened in the institutional action. So who sold, who bought? So you can see that today there was 240 crores of Fyers selling that has happened, and a very good buy that has happened of near 2000 crores of buying. 940 crores of buying has happened from the domestic institutions in the cash segment. So domestic institutions has been saving the market from crashing, and has been buying continuously since a very long period of number of days. But the FIRs continue to be in the sell mode, continue to be in the sell mode for no as before. There is no buying at all since so many days. The entire July has been selling. So that's the foreign institution participation. And the sector watch, if you look at the heat map of the Nifty, and if you look at the sectors, you can see that all is green except for cement fertilizer. It's a green day. So finance, HDFC performed, and Bajaj Finance and ICICI Bank performed. And the FMCG HUL results were there, I believe, but it did not perform. It went down, profit booking or something. And but Titan performed, and many other Voltas, McDonald's, Colgate, all these Godrej consumer products, all these performed. So except for the result stock of HUL, others performed. Automobile, Maruti, and yeah, Hero both performed. So more or less everything performed. Every sector has performed. Sun, Reddy's, Davies, all of them performed. Right. So it's like ITOs, was a major player here. So Infi did really well, right? If you look at the entire chart, you can see that Infi was the biggest contributor. Infi has good weightage on the index also. ICICI Bank also good weightage. So L&T, ICICI, Reliance also is started moving slightly, right? So we look at all that. Let's look at the charts of the indexes and then see what exactly, if you can figure out something on that. So IT index, if you go into the daily candle of IT, we can see that there is a big wide range movement. A big move has happened today. But keep that in mind that there is a continuation of another momentum bearish divergence is there on the daily as well as the weekly. What you see this line, that is the price is going continuously up since so many days, right? From the January month itself, the price is going, but you can see that the momentum has been dipping. So price and momentum is having disparity, right? So that is what divergence is. So that could bring the market down, but it may work, or when it works, which divergence is working, when it is working, right? It all depends. Sometimes divergence may not work. So right now here we are seeing that the market dipped, made small correction, and then bounced back again. So this is some connection with the US dollar gaining strength, right? So whenever that is gaining strength, IT stocks will move. That is exactly what is happening. So ITs can be cautiously played because it's the only one of the sector that is performing really good. The only sector you can say that's really in the bullish on all time frames. So metal shot up today due to some reason fundamentally, but it's still in the sideways zone. So you should wait for that to get into the bullish zones of above 60 and RSI before we can pick up some stocks in that. A lot of good stocks are there in that. As a sale, JSW, Jindal Steel, or would turn. Tata Steel, all of them would turn bullish the moment the bullishness is back, right? There is some resistance support there, so you have to keep that in the watch. What is not doing good? It has gone down, right? The sector is not performing. Tata Motors is down, so pharma is shot up today a little bit and formed a bullish hammer. So that means there is likelihood of and it is also looks like it has gone it's trying to get into the bullish zone, just not yet. So you just have to wait for the RSI to be above, and then pharma stocks also could be following the IT. FMCG is could could not hold on the resistance level. It moved up and then got back. Right, this is because of the HUL move today probably. So the reality is breaking out like anything today. Also, it did a retracement. There is a chance for the entry, and then it bounced back. So reality is breaking out as we have seen that. No, it's a long rounding pattern is there, and the breakout has happened. All realities looks like DLF, Godrej Properties, Oberoi, Reality. All these are good picks. They're all breaking and showing the same pattern of breakout, right? We already seen that, right? So that's about the sectors, and then let's look at what happens in the USD dollar, USDINR. The dollar is strengthening. You can see that the DXY index today didn't do well. It was some consolidation or correction, reversal. Not reversal, it's a correction that has happened in dollar, but overall it is moving up. USDINR, it is approaching the channel top, and there was some RBI central bank intervention that happened, which was not trying to maintain the rupee levels, not to go beyond the 75 level. So this is also the channel top, no. So it could be consolidating now, not till the channel. So that could be how the USD INR currency pair may be performing in the coming days, as per the charts and as per the data, right? So gold, if you see, it's consolidating again. It is also in a channel, right? It is at a support level also, right? It's at a major previous support level if you look, right? It may consolidate there, and then gradually it may go upwards towards the channel top, right? Oil had fallen, but it, whatever it had given up, it retained, and then it is rising again, which is not good, right? For economy overall, if you see. So that's about it. Now, what happened to the global markets? You can see that it's kind of flat. Is what it shows. S&P is flat. Nasdaq is, yes, it's regained all the fall that it made last week, and then it's climbing up. So Dow Jones is flat, right? European markets are also slightly green, right? So there is no major bearishness that is seen anywhere in the European or the US market. So that's a global overview. Now, just to summarize, so what we seen today was an expiry. So a lot of expiry action was there. So, but what good thing that happened today was that there was a big fear that the 15,600 or 35,000, the major support zones were both the indices and end up would be given up or not, which did not happen. So market bounced back, whether it was a dead cat bounce or whether it was consolidation continuation, or another beginning of a breakout. We never know. We'll come to only the next days. So we bounced from the bottom, right, with a good bullish green candle on the Nifty is good thing. But it has got stuck. Once again, it got hit at the exact resistance point where it failed multiple times. That is reason for cautiousness to be there, right? So we have to remember that we have in a consolidation phase which is happening since 29 days, 29 trading days we have been consolidating. So it is kind of indecisive on where it will trend from here. When will the consolidation end up? Which side it will go up? Upwards to break out, or downwards, or will it continue like this for further more months? We do not know. But one thing is, the more the consolidation is there, the bigger will be the strength of the breakout or the breakdown, whichever it is. So strategies which would give, which would be neutral, non-directional, right? With this consolidation ranges of 15,600 and 16,000 is what we are going to trade, right? Now if we are directional, right, for the intraday, you will have to, as I say every day, you will have to play based on the previous day's high low levels and the price action accordingly, right? But position is what I was telling earlier. Positionally, non-directional strategy within the range, but IV is not spiking and remaining at the very low level is always a concern for option sellers, because anytime it can spike up and then mess up all non-directional strategy. So it's a, even though positionally non-directional is the strategy that has taken, since IV at this is at this kind of level is a concern, right? So that's a, so also that's a wrap up of what the market is like. Actionable, I already gave it into the performing sector. The market is in consolidation mode, but it is not bearish and neither it is breaking out. It's a consolidation mode, right? So the actionable would be to, we already discussed in general what is actionable. So I also discussed about which sector. To sector that is performing is IT, but IT has got some long pending divergences that is there at the momentum. So it could correct anytime, but dollar is in fully in favor of IT. So all the IT stocks will keep performing. Today also Infosys. So stocks like Infosys, where it is really breaking out, you definitely can be a trend follower. Right? Directional trade can be made. Some stocks like Mindtree are really performing. Okay. So trend following and entries can be made in all of this. Right? That's actionable, and that's a wrap up. I hope whoever is listening to this would have an idea on where exactly are we, what happened in the market today, and how can I place my strategies, and then how can I trade positionally, swing or intraday for the next day. So necessary inputs have been there in this 20 minutes of talk, right? Hope it helps. Once again, I request, if you find this useful, please hit the like button, and if you think that anyone else, your friends, relatives, whoever you think may benefit from it, please do share. Please. So every subscription that we have new will help us motivate to keep doing this, right? With keep coming with better content each time, right? So happy trading, happy learning, and bye for now.